Crypto has started off a gloomy and dark Q3 in 2022. A massive sell-off, rug pulls, more failed projects than we can count, a cesspool of scammers and bad actors, and a breeding ground and honeypot for hackers. Most people feel comfortable keeping the majority of their capital on exchanges. So why is it that on exchanges it has become one of the worst places to keep not only your crypto, but your personal information? It seems like every other day we are hearing about something wild happening on or to an exchange in crypto. Celsius is toast and halted withdrawals because they are insolvent. KuCoin has FUD all around it. Even though Anchor Protocol is not an exchange, it still went down due to the Terra Luna and the UST crash. Coinbase is under fire for selling customer data to the government. And now Binance has been confirmed to have found consumer data being offered up on the dark web to the tune of 1 billion people. Now, that's a lot of info. You probably heard about it, but wait, there's more. What if I told you this isn't Binance's first rodeo and that they have actually been in a lot of hot water before and now concerning hackers and stolen data or funds? You would probably want to know more about that. And I will tell all right after you hit that like button though, because obviously if you're still watching, you found some value in this video. Now, if you subscribe to the channel, I promise you your info will not wind up on the dark web due to it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, boom, bang on that notification bell for me. And no hackers are going to be accessing your passport information if you comment on this video. So chop it up with me in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Now back to the Binance topic. So what exactly happened here? Binance is actually on the good side of this for once, but they haven't always been, and we will get to that in just a minute. In a tweet, Changpeng Zhao, which is CZ, the CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange Binance, said this: "Our threat intelligence detected 1 billion resident records for sale on the dark web." He blamed this on a bug in a deployment by an unnamed government agency as the reason that the data was able to be accessed. The information of about 1 billion people has been put on the dark web for sale for about 10 Bitcoin, which is almost $200,000. Apparently, the information that has been leaked is said to include names, addresses, national ID numbers, and mobile phone numbers, along with police and medical records. He immediately used this as a security launchpad to say this: "It is important for all platforms to enhance their security measures in this area. Binance has already stepped up verifications for users potentially affected." Now, even though Binance is on the proper side of this time at least, let's just assume they have learned from their mistakes. But back in 2019, Binance was in a bit of hot water when a hacker named Exploit Dot posted pictures of KYC documentation that they had obtained from Binance and other exchanges. This got swept under the rug very quickly, and they said, oh, they could have just swiped this from elsewhere and that the documents weren't technical proof. This begs the question, why would a hacker come out of the woodworks to prove that the allegations were not false if they could potentially be proven wrong in the process and start shining the light on their hacker tendencies? Weird stuff, but technically it wasn't ever proven and it fell by the wayside. They also chalked it up to this: usually funds are stolen from exchanges, so it probably wasn't our data that was hacked. But let me let you in on a little secret. Why do you think Facebook always wants to know your location? Why does Google track your every move and search, and then somehow the same thing that you just searched for pops up in your YouTube timeline, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever? Because information is literally the most valuable asset that one can have right now. Elections are won and lost with the ability to collect proper consumer and target demographic data. The dark web thrives on stolen identities, extortion, etc. So yes, the KYC information, IP addresses, banking information, and all the other data that Binance and that exchange store is extremely valuable. So this leads me to my next point. Binance was also in hot water back in 2020 because there was a massive hack on a small Slovakian exchange called Etherbase for the tune of about $5.4 million worth of crypto. This hack was attributed to Lazarus, a North Korean hacker group that the US chalked up to attempting to fund North Korea's nuclear arsenal. A few hours after the attack, the hackers actually opened up over a dozen Binance accounts and started selling the crypto in an attempt to launder the money through the hot wallets, throwing authorities off the trail. Apparently, Binance's security and KYC practices weren't up to par at that time because these accounts were signed up for in the matter of about 9 minutes. Then they started offloading all of the funds and assets that they had just hacked. Binance had absolutely no idea who was moving money through their exchange because of the anonymity of the exchange accounts. So now do you see why Binance makes people KYC so aggressively and won't let US people trade on the Binance Chinese website? Instead, you have to trade on Binance US and KYC in order to do anything of substance. Now, Here's the craziest part. From 2017 to 2020, Binance has apparently processed transactions totaling at least $2.35 billion, stemming from hacks, investment frauds, and illegal drug sales. This was calculated by an examination of court records, statements by law enforcement, and blockchain data compiled by two blockchain analysis firms. Separately, crypto researcher Chain Analysis, hired by the US government agencies to track illegal flows, concluded in a 2020 report that Binance received criminal funds totaling $770 million in 2019 alone, which is more than any other cryptocurrency exchange at that time. So obviously the Binance CEO, CZ, accused Chain Analysis on Twitter of bad business etiquette and categorically denied all of this. Data showed that from 2017 all the way up till today, 2022, buyers and sellers on the world's largest darknet drugs market, a Russian language site called Hydra, and this sounds like it's coming out of a Marvel film, right? Has been using Binance to make and receive crypto payments worth $780 million just from that one entity. Now, this goes for all the darknet web people, illicit drug traffickers, and the tax evaders that use crypto as a safe haven. So the blockchain technically tracks everything, right? Even if you have anonymous IP addresses, encryption, all of that, it still tracks the transactions and wallet addresses at the very least, with timestamps. So if they can track and credit the illicit funds to the Hydras and Lazaruses of the world, some of the most sophisticated darknet participants in the entire world that we know of, what do you think that means for the lay person? The person that is just trying to do some sidebar action to not have to pay taxes. They'll find it. That's what it means. Especially with the KYC practices that are in place now, especially with the data being sold to governments now. I'm looking at you, Coinbase. And let's just be real. The blockchain is undefeated. Trust and believe. The government is rooting for the blockchain. They are just waiting for the right opportunity for them to take it over, regulate it, and use it to their benefit. The writing in the sand is there. Read it and make your own assertions from there. One last point. If there is all this data being sold, how does Binance stop bad actors from signing up for fake accounts from people's names that they bought off of the dark web? Could this continue to fund these criminal enterprises? The answer is an unequivocal yes. It definitely could. So even though Binance is being the good guy in this scenario and alerting the citizens of a government data breach, they are still technically aiding in the funding of said hacks and exploits, even if they don't know it. They are Donnie Brasco. They are playing both sides, and this is a slippery slope to navigate. With that being said, make sure you are keeping your assets secure by backing up your wallets. Put them in cold storage if you can. And also by not putting too much capital on exchanges to just sit there. And make sure not to give too terribly much information to platforms that are known to be hackers' wet dreams of data and capital. Be safe with your funds and be safer with your information. You don't want to be the guy that wakes up one morning to a call from a Singapore bank one day saying that you owe them $20,000 on a house note because your info was stolen from an exchange, sold on the dark web, and your identity was stolen by someone else. With that being said, if you liked this content, make sure you smash that like button for me. Make sure you hit subscribe, boom! Bang on that notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. I appreciate everybody showing up. I will see you in the next video. Have a good day, everyone.